Hi everybody, this is the baseball head, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the people's champion. Your host, and welcome back to the baseball head. Hopefully you like this video. Hit that subscribe button. And so we're back here. Talking about the New York Mets, of course. Well, it's funny you should mention that. This is a Mets channel. What are the Mets going to do? What are the Mets going to do? Well, first of all, two things that have happened in the last couple of days. Edwin Diaz and Pete Alonso both opted out of their contracts, which we all knew was going to happen. A lot of players have opted out last couple days. Some players have opted in. Shota Amanaga opted out of his contract with the Cubs. He's pitched well with the Cubs. Also, Jack Flaherty, he opted in. He's staying with the Tigers. But so there's going to be a lot of pitching out there. There's going to be a ton of pitching. This is going to be a better pitching market than it was last year. I mean, we had, like Snell, a few other guys, but really this is a much, much better market. Not only the trading market, but also free agency. So the Mets have a good chance to get a really good pitcher. And I would recommend the Mets get a starter both through the trade route and the free agent route. That's what they need to do. Well, SNY ranks the top 5 trade targets for this offseason. Keep in mind that next year we're probably going to have a lockout. So that's why it's kind of important that the Mets make a smart move here. And there are going to be teams going all in, not knowing what the future is going to hold for next season and next year. Expect a big starting pitching acquisition via a trade. Okay. Given the Mets need to dramatically improve their starting pitching defense and cohesion on offense, they're going to have to attack the offseason from all angles. That means diving headfirst into the free agent market that is short on big headliners, but has plenty of intriguing options. I think this is a better market than it was last year, especially on the pitching side. While New York has a needed first base with Pete Alonso again, a free agent, and could seek an upgrade at third base and or second, it can be argued that those answers can easily be found via free agency. First baseman options aren't great, as can a mid-rotation starting pitcher and relief help. When it comes to finding a starting pitcher who profiles near the top of the rotation, though, the prediction here is that the Mets will find that pitcher through the trade market. Combine the Mets' need and desperation for top. I mean, really, it's desperation, because that was the big problem. Is like if you have an ace, they can cut down on a losing streak very quickly, and they didn't have that. Downs expect to be available via trade, and the fact that New York has one of the best farm systems in baseball, and you get a perfect storm. Now, here's the top 5 targets that they've mentioned. Some pie in the sky wants to be with, and it's only because of the calendar and the year. Another year or so from now, he's going to be available. And this is Paul Skenes from the Pirates, the hapless Pirates, the Pirates who haven't won since 1979, and they don't look like they're going to win until 2079, the rate they're going. Skenes would be at the top, very top of this list if there was a belief that the Pirates would likely trade him this offseason. But when you pair Skenes' years of team control remaining 4 more seasons through 2029, that's really 1 more, because then he's going to hit arbitration. And Pittsburgh's seeming reluctance to either spend enough to be a contender or maximize Skenes' value in the trade market in order to try to contend in a different way, a deal at this point seems unlikely. And they're just going to spin their wheels in Pittsburgh. But every team with World Series hopes in 2026 should be calling the Pirates about him anyway. If offered a package that was truly outrageous, you would think Pittsburgh would have to, at the very least, consider it. For example, the Mets should have Nolan McLean off limits in any other possible trades for a starting pitcher. And a deal for Skenes, McLean would be a must for the Pirates to even consider it. I would deal him, no problem. In a world where the Mets offer McLean, Jonathan, Jet Williams, and more, could Pittsburgh start to bend on Skenes? Probably not. When you take into account the fact that the Pirates have been unable to get out of their own way for the better part of 30 years, 47 years on January 1st. This writer doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. But it can't hurt to try. Next up on this list, Freddie Peralta. Freddie Peralta is a number 4 star. Number 2 star. He's not a number 1 star. I know he had a big year this year, and he's had some good years, but he's a number 2 starter, in my opinion. In the recent years, the Brewers, often under strict payroll constraints, have traded some of their most valuable players when they've gotten close to free agency. They did it with Corbin Burns and Devin Williams both last year and last offseason. And then, of course, they traded Josh Hader. Dave Stearns traded Josh Hader at the 22 trade deadline. The same kind of plan being stored regarding Peralta. Again, he's a number 4 starter. Number 2 starter, in my opinion. So you don't give up major pieces. Peralta's about to enter his age 30 season, has an $8 million team option. The Brewers will obviously pick up. I think they'll keep him. I think there's a good chance they can keep him, just based on the fact that he's only making $8 million. Next up on this list, right-handed pitcher Sandy Alcantara. I could see him staying. It was a struggle for Alcantara during the first half of last season. What was his first year back after having Tommy John surgery? Ahead of a start on July 23rd, he posted a 7.14 ERA and 97 innings pitched. But from that start through the end of the season, he turned it on. In 12 starts over 77 and 2/3 innings from that point, Alcantara had a 3.13 ERA. Along the way, he completed 7 innings 7 times. That's a guy who won. So he pitched a lot of innings. When he was healthy before that, he's a guy that pitched a lot. Next up is Joe Ryan from the Twins. Ryan had the best season of his career in 2025. Posted a 3.42 ERA with a 1.03 whip. While striking out 10.2 batters per 9 innings and a career high, 171 innings. He's already missed lots of bats and has rated out as one of the best in baseball each of the last 4 seasons. Big question here is whether the Twins would trade Ryan, who has 2 more years of arbitration remaining. It'll be very expensive in that time period. He's going to get traded. Because they traded a lot of players, a lot of big players this past offseason. This past trading deadline. They were the most active team. But I gotta be honest with you. I've never seen Joe Ryan pitch because I can't give you a definitive critique on him. And if he's in Minnesota, I get a little nervous about these pitchers in Minnesota. They haven't pitched in big spots. They always lose to the Yankees in these spots. I'm not too enthralled with that idea. But just keep in mind, I've not seen him pitch. I can't give you my opinion on him. Skubal, this is Tarik Skubal. He's number 1, the left-handed pitcher. I've seen him pitch. Is set for free agency after 2026. So the Mets and any other team expecting to contend next season should be on the Tigers' case about him. Would it be surprising Detroit trade the best pitcher in the American League, fresh off back-to-back Cy Youngs? But they're going to move him. But what makes this intriguing is that when the Tigers attempted to extend Skubal, it was reported not just a non-competitive offer, but one that was relatively insulting. And owner Christopher Illich gave a bit of a weird answer recently when asked about a possible Skubal extension. The 27-year-old left-hander is rep by Scott Boras. So as you know, his unofficial PR guy is John Heyman, who is the Scott Boras whisperer. Even with just 1 year left on his deal, it would likely take a king's ransom to pry Skubal from Detroit. For the Mets, that could mean trading Jonah Tong and their Brandon Sproat, along with Jet Williams or Carson Bench. For a talent like Skubal, though, that's simply the cost of doing business. I would also throw in David Peterson, because you can sort of smooth it over with the fans. We brought in a major league player that was on the All-Star team last year in 2025. That would make sense. So how about a deal like this? Some off the top of my head. David Peterson, Jonah Tong and or Brandon Sproat, Jet Williams. I don't want to give up Benj or McLean. But how about you give up Jacob Reamer and possibly combination with him with Ryan Clifford? Or maybe I just give them somebody. And I would mention they're a team that expects to win. So even if they were to trade Skubal, they do expect to win. So that's why I bring up David Peterson. You can't just assume in this situation that they're going to want minor league talent. Assume that they're going to want major league talent as well. Maybe they want Brett Beatty. Maybe they want Mark Vientos. They should be all up for grabs. You can trade any one of these guys. None of these guys are going to be Hall of Famers. That I think we're pretty clear on that. If they are, I'd be shocked. But these are the 5 that they put out, SNY put out. I don't know if I agree with some of these. I don't think that Skenes is getting traded. I don't know much about Joe Ryan. And Freddie Peralta is a number 2 starter, in my opinion. He's not an ace. Mets need an ace. That's the one thing they need. They need an ace above and beyond anything else. And if you're spending $700 million, folks, if you're spending $700 million on one player, you should get the best pitcher you can possibly get. And if you have a big farm system, use that farm to get that player, get that pitcher. Do what you got to do. Well, let me know what you think about this video. Do what you got to do. Hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.